My good old world building friend, ChatGPT. We're going to, let's create a chat for Cruxland. Another continent in Oddmore. Next. Okay, and let's pull up a map here so we can get a good look at it. Okay, so Cruxland is way up here. This is pretty much the known world at this point, and Cruxland is this little series of islands way up north in a pretty arctic realm. The realm of the cursed. Pockets of Oddmore were especially affected by the curse. Rather than killing inhabitants, it twisted and deformed them, gave sentience to otherwise mindless monsters, and stole the souls of mortals. No territory is as tormented as the Arctic region of Cruxland. For this reason, many of the unkillable fiends found in the realm are exiled to this tundra, realm being the rest of the world. So we'll feed that to ChatGPT. Tell it there's not going to be much in the way of diplomacy here. It's not a civilized nation, not really a nation at all. Rather, its name is given to it by the rest of the world. Write about what you think would be helpful to understanding the greater world, understanding Cruxland in the context of the greater world, and what would be good for adventurers to know. All right. So where this usually goes is, ChatGPT will come up with a lot of ideas, and I kind of sort through them, figure out what feels right for Cruxland or any of these countries or any of these NPCs or whatever it is we're creating, and then we kind of go at it and slowly filter through stuff as it comes up. So let's take a listen to this.
Absolutely. This already paints a haunting, hostile place on the map. Here's a write-up that blends world context, lore hooks, and adventuring potential. Cruxland, the scar that breathes. Cruxland is not a nation. It has no borders, no government, no diplomats. It is a cold, sprawling wilderness, a tormented Arctic region whose name was assigned by distant cartographers and fearful scholars. The name Cruxland has no native origin. It simply marks a place of irreconcilable contradiction, where the dead do not stay dead and the living are rarely whole. When the curse tore through Oddmore, some regions were obliterated. Cruxland was changed. Unlike elsewhere, the curse did not kill so much as it unwound. It warped the flesh of mortals, granting some monstrous strength, others wretched longevity, and many minds they should never have possessed. Entire species of beasts were uplifted to cunning cruelty. Others became hollow vessels, without soul, without purpose, without death. Cruxland remains the most visibly cursed territory on the planet. Key traits of Cruxland: a living graveyard. Souls do not linger in Cruxland, they vanish. Resurrection magic fails. Spirits do not haunt, they evaporate. This absence has created a hollow echo in the weave itself. Some believe this is the curse still feeding. Unkillable exiles, powerful, cursed entities that cannot be destroyed, are often bound or banished to Cruxland by desperate governments. It's a dumping ground for world-ending problems, lich remnants, curse-bound tyrants, banished archfiends. Whether they rule over petty fiefdoms of the damned or wander in madness, few ever leave. Monsters with minds. Once mindless creatures now possess sapient, fractured consciousnesses. Edens that debate philosophy, frost trolls that write poetry in ice.
It's a little bit too nice.
Aberrant minds and bestial bodies. Not all are hostile, but none are normal.
Most are hostile.
No law, no land, no mercy. There are no cities, no nations, only scattered strongholds, cult refuges, wandering herds, and frozen ruins, many predating known history. Some believe Cruxland may have once been home to a proto-civilization destroyed in the curse's earliest surge. Adventuring in Cruxland, why go there? Recover lost relics swallowed by the cursed frost. Hunt or confront powerful beings banished to the ice. Trace the origins of the curse itself. Seek forbidden knowledge or dark boons left by ancient powers. Aid desperate holdouts, scholars, cultists, or exiles, trying to survive in the cold maw of madness.
It's all pretty good.
Challenges. Survival. Even well-equipped parties may falter under the freezing winds, food scarcity, and soul-leeching environment.
Yep.
Madness. Cruxland whispers. Some adventurers return haunted, others altered, and some simply disappear. Twisted morality. Not all monsters are enemies. Not all mortals are allies. Lines blur in the endless white. Rewards. Access to unique, curse-altered magic. Knowledge of ancient, pre-Oddmore history buried in glacial catacombs. Power tempered by consequence. Many boons in Cruxland come with an unseen price. Cruxland in the context of Oddmore. Cruxland is a mirror held up to Oddmore's denial. While Udmaran builds trains and towers, while the Holy Farjanians chase godhood and Carthan crowns new kings, Cruxland remembers. It is the curse-given form left to fester. To some, it is a warning. To others, a mystery. To the desperate, it's a last chance.
That's good.
But to adventurers, it's the place you go when no other road is left. Want to dive into some sample factions, cursed locations, or weird inhabitants next?
Yeah, maybe later. Okay, that's good. I definitely want to save. This is probably even the new summary for this place. Cruxland is a mirror held up to Oddmore's denial. That's so good. When Oddmaran builds, we'll call that Sky Tracks. And automatons, while the Holy Farjanians chase godhood, Oxford Comma, and Carthan crowns new claim keepers. Cruxland remembers. I love how simple that is. That's so good. It is the curse given form, left to fester. To some, it is a warning. To others, a mystery. To the desperate, it's a last chance. That's amazing. But we should probably keep the original summary there as well. And that'll provide some context for that great. Come on. There we go. So pockets of Oddmore were especially affected by the curse. Certain pockets of Oddmore were uniquely affected by the curse. Rather than killing inhabitants, it twisted and deformed them, gave sentience to otherwise mindless monsters, and stole the souls of mortals. Repurposed the souls of mortals. I like that more. No territory is as tormented as the Arctic region of Cruxland. For this reason, many of the unkillable fiends found throughout the world are exiled to this tundra. Cruxland is a mirror held up to Oddmore's denial, while Narn builds skytracks and automatons, while the Holy Farjanians chase Godhead, and Carthan crowns new claim keepers. Cruxland remembers. It is the curse given form, left to fester. To some it is a warning, to others a mystery, to the desperate it's a last chance. Fire! Let's see how this looks so far. Cool. Alright, we are going... The snowflake is so adorable. And very misaligned from this. Okay. We need the Cruxland cover image. I'll show you guys a little bit about what this actually is. So, oops. Trying to find the right page. So this kind of gives you an idea of Cruxland's aesthetic. Pretty wild, you know. Not for the faint of heart. Definitely not Ettin's practicing philosophy and Ice Trolls writing poetry, like ChatGPT gave us. But we can do some refining here. So, let's see. Cruxland is not a nation, has no borders, no government, no diplomats. It is a cold, sprawling wilderness, a tormented Arctic region whose name was assigned by distant cartographers and fearful scholars. Love it. The name Cruxland has no native origin. It simply marks a place of irreconcilable contradiction where the dead do not stay dead, and the living are rarely whole. I like that. First half of that sentence can probably go. When the curse tore through Oddmore, some regions were obliterated. Cruxland was changed. Unlike elsewhere, the curse did not kill so much as it unwound. It warped the flesh of mortals, granting some monstrous strength. We're just kind of saying what we've already said and giving more details than a mysterious country should have. So, we'll give this a heading and call it not a nation. I'll make that heading 3. Cruxland is not a nation. It has no borders, no government, no diplomats. The name Cruxland has no native origin. It simply marks a place of irreconcilable contradiction where the dead do not stay dead and the living are rarely whole. Is that a contradiction? Not really. Like, those two things don't contradict each other. It simply marks a place of irreconcilable contradiction. I guess we could just take that out. It simply marks a place where the dead do not stay dead and the living are rarely whole. Okay, let's say right about the state of sentient factions in Cruxland. There shouldn't be more than 3 of them. I don't need much detail for any of them, simply a name and what they contribute to Cruxland. Also explain what each offers to adventurers who either make their way into Cruxland or are willing to traverse into the rest of Oddmore on behalf of the faction. This is looking pretty good. Alright, let's take a listen to this. Actually, I want to see if there's a more fantastical voice for us to listen to. Juniper's like my favorite, but Monday, that's new.
Oh, good. You found me. Yay.
I don't think
Oh, good.
I don't think that's the one. Maple?
Hi there. Nice.
Nope. Soul is cool.
Hey, what's up? Feel free to...
That's not it either. I feel like there's a British guy somewhere, and what is more quintessentially Finn?
Hey, how's it going?
Than
I'm looking for...
a British accent. Cove, I believe.
Hi there.
Where are you, British man? Breeze?
Hey, it's great.
Love Breeze, but not what I'm looking for. Vale.
Hello. It's lovely to meet you.
It's not
If
bad.
there's anything you need, please don't hesitate to let me know. I'm here to help.
I like that. But Arbor, I think, is...
Hi. Glad to meet you. I think we're going to do great work together. Where should we start?
Yeah, that's fun. Alright, let's take a listen to this.
Perfect. Cruxland isn't a place for sprawling empires or bustling alliances. Just a few clinging survivors, warlords and seers, each holding fast to whatever meaning they've carved from the ice.
Good.
Here are 3 sentient factions that define what little structure Cruxland has.
Good.
1. The Ivory Refrain. What they are: a cult-like communion of soul-emptied mortals and monsters, bound together by eerie song. They believe Cruxland is a sacred silence, the final truth of the world, and seek to hasten the unraveling of all sentient will. What they offer: to adventurers within, safe passage across dead zones as long as you do not speak.
Love it.
They revere silence and tolerate those who embrace it. To adventurers beyond, assassinations, memory erasure, and cursed relics that we can resolve, used by spies, warlocks, or nihilist cults elsewhere in
Pretty
Oddmore.
cool.
To 2. The Frostbrand,
Oops.
a loose brotherhood of cursed exiles, once great warriors, warlords, and monsters from across Oddmore, who now rule fractured fortresses across the ice. They honor strength, survival, and a brutal code of challenge. What they offer: to adventurers within, shelter, combat trials, and ancient war gear left behind by forgotten empires.
Love it.
To adventurers beyond, mercenary support from hardened veterans and monstrous champions in exchange for tribute or favors done on their behalf in foreign lands.
That's pretty cool.
3. The Lantern Court. What they are: wandering scholars, planar cartographers, and soulbinders who came to study the curse and stayed, transformed. Now they serve as tenuous guides and caretakers of knowledge lost in the frost, their minds half bound to the fading veil of souls. What they offer: to adventurers within, cryptic guidance, ancient maps, and controlled contact with soul-absent entities. To adventurers beyond, forbidden research, cursed magical experimentation, or intelligence gathered from otherworldly phenomena no other region dares to study. Each faction is dangerous in its own way. None are safe, and all ask more than they offer. But in a place like Cruxland, those are often the only kinds of friends one can make. Want to dig deeper into any of them, or come up with a landmark tied to each one?
Nope. Oh, actually, some landmarks might be cool. Landmark for each's base of operations would be cool. Don't need too many details. Keep it minimal. Alright, the Ivory Refrain. It's a little too classy for what it is, you know? A cult-like community of soul-emptied mortals and monsters bound together by eerie song. Yo, Christian. There's going to be spoilers, kind of. You can stick around. I don't think it'll spoil our D&D campaign. But it'll spoil a little world building for what's next after our campaign ends. I don't think it'll be anything you don't already know about, but you're warned. Okay. So anyway, the Ivory Refrain. Don't love the name, love the concept. So we'll say the 3 factions. That is a big heading. World Anvil. The app I'm using has a lot of formatting problems. But thankfully nothing a quick refresh can't ever fix. Can't never fix? Let's see. The 3 factions. I like a heading here, but I don't know what it's going to be called yet, so we'll just say Untitled. And then we'll go, what are they? Untitled is a cult-like communion of soul-emptied mortals and monsters bound together by eerie song. They believe Cruxland is a sacred silence, the final truth of the world. Whew. Fire. To seek and seek to hasten the unraveling of all sentient will. As you do. To visiting adventurers, they offer safe passage across dead zones, which, who knows what those are? That'll be fun to find out one day. Safe passage across dead zones as long as you do not speak. Again, why? Who knows? That's why you play the game. They revere... Luckily, I have the memory of a finch. Cool. It's not like this will be immortalized on the internet or anything. They revere silence and tolerate those who embrace it. Cool. Okay, so I'm getting a silence is very important vibe from these guys, and I think their name should probably reflect that. I love the idea of like a cult that never speaks. They're taking like a vow of silence, and yet they have this very nefarious motivation. Those working on behalf some to those beyond Cruxland, Untitled provides assassinations, memory erasure, and cursed relics that we can resolve, used by spies, warlocks, and nihilist cults elsewhere. And cults elsewhere and on more. Perfect. Okay. And then I'll come back with a name for that in a little bit. H3, oops, just kidding. H4. Then we got the Frostbrand Kin, which I love that name. What they are, a loose brotherhood of cursed exiles, once great warriors, warlords, and monsters from across Oddmore, who now rule fractured fortresses across the ice. They honor strength, survival, and a brutal code of challenge. I mean, I guess I don't love the rule fractured fortresses part. The whole idea of Cruxland, there's not much ruling going on. So that's another point to refine here. What they offer: shelter, combat trials, and ancient war gear left behind by forgotten empires. Perfect. Mercenary support from hardened veterans and monstrous champions in exchange for tribute or favors done on their behalf in foreign lands. So we got a good name here. Struggling concept. We'll refine that in a second. Just do a couple. And then, lastly, the Lantern Court, which for some reason is so rad that's one name. Wandering scholars, planar photographers, and soulbinders who came to study the curse and stayed transformed. Now they serve as tenuous guides and caretakers of knowledge, lost in the frost, their minds half bound to the fading veil of souls. I'll throw that in there. I like that a lot. I like the name and I like the description. Those that find the court in Cruxland are offered... Did I say offered? Yeah, I did say offered. I don't like to use a lot of words repeatedly. Those that find the court in Cruxland are given cryptic guidance, ancient maps, and controlled contact with soul absent entities. Again, who the heck knows what that means? Not me. But we'll find out one day. Many come from the civilizations of Oddmore to gain forbidden research, observe cursed magical experimentation, and trade for intelligence gathered from otherworldly phenomena no other region dares to study. Perfect. Alright. And I asked for landmarks, so let's take a look at this.
Absolutely. Here are 3 evocative landmarks, one for each faction's home base, just enough to spark imagination or stage an encounter. Ivory refrain. A towering obelisk of pale, sound-absorbing stone that hums with silence.
Sick.
It juts from a frozen lake like a buried needle, surrounded by shrouded figures who never speak. Voices fail within miles of it. Frostbrand kin. The Shatterhole, a ruined fortress sunk halfway into a glacier's edge, its towers cracked and rebuilt with bone, iron, and frost-forged weapons. Braziers of blue flame burn in challenge atop the walls.
I like it.
A half-subterranean ruin beneath the ice, lit by suspended lanterns filled with soul fire. The air shimmers with arcane residue, and the walls are etched with moving diagrams of the planes and the curse. Want to sketch out short encounters or rumors tied to any of them next?
Okay. Those are all great. Good names, even. We still gotta find something else for the Ivory refrain. We'll take... that, and we'll put it here. So they revere silence and tolerate those who embrace it, if they must. The blank, still gotta find a name. It can often be found in the Still Spire. A towering obelisk of pale, sound-absorbing stone that hums with silence. It juts from a frozen lake like a buried needle. Sick. Surrounded by shrouded figures who never speak. Voices feel within miles of it. Is there a lake in Cruxland? Not one big enough to land on the map, but that's okay. Doesn't mean there isn't one. We'll say a valley lake. That's how I like to cover up. Because you usually can't see into valleys on a map because they're between mountains. And so whenever there's not something I need on the drawn map, we say it's in a valley. And no one can prove you wrong. So let's do a towering obelisk of pale sounds where it juts from a frozen lake. A frozen valley lake like a buried needle surrounded by shrouded figures who never speak. I love the idea that there are these figures, and I imagine them very large, very like arcane in essence, hovering. I don't know if anybody's played what's the game where you walk around as a post-apocalyptic mail carrier with Norman Reedus, whatever it's called. Shoot, what is the name of that game? Anyway, there's like these aliens almost that these big shadowy humanoid figures that kind of hover and descend from the clouds. It's the vibe I'm kind of getting here. So, probably break this up into a couple paragraphs here. How's that look? Alright, we need some line breaks for sure. For sure, for sure. There we go. Alright. Frostbrand Kin, we have to revise that. We gotta find a name for the Ivory Refrain. That's not the Ivory Refrain. And the Lantern Court. We'll take half subterranean ruin beneath the ice, lit by suspended lanterns, filled with soulfire. The air shimmers with what is soulfire? Who knows? That's why we play the game. The air shimmers with arcane residue, and the walls are etched with moving diagrams of the planes and the curse. The planes, see, this is the interesting part. The various planes, oops, don't worry about that yet, are like now extinct. Gone. Destroyed. So maybe we can edit that a little bit. The Lantern Court. Wandering scholars, planar cartographers, and soulbinders who came to study the curse and stayed transformed. Now they serve as tenuous guides and caretakers of knowledge lost in the frost. Lost in the frost. Their minds half bound to the fading veil of souls. That's cool. Those that find the court in Cruxland. We don't need that yet. So we're going to put the description of their base of operations. And let's see how that looks. Very cool, very cool. We're going to give this some artwork here in a minute. It'll be kind of fun. Before we do that, let's go back and say, can we find a different name for the Ivory Refrain? It sounds a little too classy for such a cursed, silent, mutated, mysterious faction. Give me 10 options. The Hushed Choir, the Whisperborn. I think that's it. I don't think I need to read the other 8, but because I asked. The Quiet Maw, Still Blood Covenant, the Mute Throne, Echo Hollow, the Wordless Host, the Pale Quiet, Tonguebound, the Unvoiced. Whisperborn, I don't know how you get better than Whisperborn, to be honest with you. Call it a communion of soul-emptied mortals and monsters bound together by eerie song. They believe Cruxland is a sacred silence, the final truth of the world. The Whisperborn can often be found in the Still Spire, a towering obelisk of pale, sound-absorbing stone that hums with silence, yada 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 yada. To visiting adventurers, they offer safe passage across dead zones as long as you do not speak. To those beyond Cruxland, the Whisperborn provide? Is that plural or singular? Provide assassinations, memory? I like plural. Memory erasure and cursed relics that we can resolve. Okay. Very good, very good. Let's go with Whisperborn. No need to re-output anything. Alright, let's revise the Frostbrand Kin description. It's a little too organized for Cruxland's modus operandi. It should ring as more chaotic. Although I do like the idea of it being made up of cursed warlords and warriors. It sounds like many of them should be Carthani that tried to take over the land and failed, getting stuck there and now enslaved to the curse. Alright. Ooh, the Frostbrand Kin. Not a faction, a condition. The Frostbrand Kin are... Let's actually just have Vale read this.
Perfect direction.
Whatever his
That
name
shift
is.
adds grit and tragedy while tying Cruxland closer to the broader world. Here's a revised version of the Frostbrand Kin that better fits Cruxland's chaos. Frostbrand Kin. What they are. Not a faction, a condition. The Frostbrand Kin are cursed warlords, champions and soldiers who once tried to tame Cruxland and failed. Many are Carthani, driven by conquest, cast into the frost during bold campaigns, now bound to the land by the curse they underestimated. Stripped of true purpose, they roam in bitter warbands, claiming and losing territory in endless, pointless cycles of violence.
Yeah, they are.
Some remember who they were. Others have forgotten everything but the will to fight. What they offer. To adventurers within, the right to challenge and claim, a warrior's chance to earn respect, a blade, or a temporary alliance. Some kin may even follow a mortal bold enough to best them in open duel. To adventurers beyond, blood-forged gear, frost-cursed weapons, or the muscle of a once great war beast with nothing left to lose, if the adventurers can leash it. Want to give them a signature curse or physical trait that marks a Frostbrand, or leave that loose for now?
We'll leave that loose for now. So I like to adventurers. First of all, I love the description. That is much better. I'm just going to copy and paste that right in. I don't love what they offer from this one. I kind of want to repurpose some of what we first had with that. So, less a faction, more a condition. I like that more than not a faction, because it sounds like it is still kind of a faction. Frostbrand Kin are cursed warlord champions and soldiers who once tried to tame Cruxland and failed. Either militarily what is the word? Militarily. That's making it way harder than it needed to be. Either militarily or personally. And failed. Many are Carthani, driven by conquest. I would say most are Carthani, driven by conquest, cast into the frost during bold campaigns. Yeah, now bound to the land by the curse they underestimated. Stripped of true purpose, they roam in bitter warbands. Stripped of true purpose, the Frostbrand Kin roam in bitter warbands, claiming and losing territory in endless, pointless cycles of violence. That's kind of sick. A mockery, a parody even, of the Carthan way. Woo! That's fire. That's fire. Some remember who they were, others have forgotten everything but the will to fight. This is good, this is good. Militarily is not a bad word. Whatever I was trying to say was. Which is probably why it's not a word. Okay. And I need to grab the outpost for these guys. Oh, and I got a name. Their home, Glimmerdeep, is lit by spindle lanterns filled with soul fire. The air shimmers with arcane silence. Arcane fire. Arcane fire. Arcade. Somebody's done arcane fire, right? Like a joke on Arcade Fire. Yeah, this is getting pretty sick. I concur. where is this? A ruined fortress, halfway sunk into a glacier's edge. Its towers cracked and rebuilt with bone, iron, and frost-forged weapons. Braziers of blue flame burn and challenge atop the walls. Love it. Now, what was the original offerings from these guys? Frostbrandkin offers shelter, combat trials, and ancient war gear left behind by forgotten empires, to adventurers beyond, mercenary support from hardened veterans and monstrous champions in exchange for tribute or favors done on their behalf in foreign lands. I don't feel like that fits either. I don't feel like these guys are on their behalf people. So I actually do kind of like the newer offerings. The right to challenge and claim a warrior's chance to earn respect, a blade, or a temporary alliance. Some can even follow mortal bold enough to best them in open duel. Yeah, I like that. I like that. We'll do yeah, there we go. Adventurers are offered, are given. Adventurers have the right to challenge and claim a warrior's chance to earn respect. I'll just use our given again. Are given the right to challenge and claim a warrior's chance to earn respect, a blade or temporary alliance. Some can even follow a mortal bold enough to best them in open duel. I like curseless mortal. Yeah, I don't think we need necessarily to state what they offered to the rest of the world. I don't think it's much. This is looking good. Okay. Now for the fun part. We will find some artwork. I might actually pull it up here so you can see it a little bit clearer. So this is Carthan artwork. Let's go to... I haven't looked at my Cruxland Pinterest in a minute. Alright. Whew. These are kind of fire. So what, we gotta find... I'd like artwork for... I mean... I don't want the list to be too long. Like the column of artwork, if it goes too long, it just looks kind of awkward on the page because the text kind of ends here and you got scrolling just to find pictures on the right. I don't like the empty space. So at the very least, I'd like to find an example of what the Whisperborn, the Frostbrandkin, and the Lantern Court look like, and then maybe like a monster or two that's notorious in Cruxland. So let's start with the Whisperborn. I mean, that's pretty fire for a starter. Let's see if there's anything else that kind of sticks. I don't love the Headless Horseman vibe. That's a little too cursed, I think. That would be more of a lone monster out in the wilderness of Cruxland. This is like a phenomenal example of the Frostbrandkin. I like that a lot. Like, what a warrior-esque picture. I'm not seeing much else that I love as a faction picture for any of these, really. I mean, like, this one would be a decent Frostbrandkin as well. I mean, I think that is one. I think that goes without saying. Whether or not it's the icon, the mascot, is a different story. I like this one for the Lanternborn. Is that what it's called? Is it Lanternborn? Lantern Court. The Lantern Court. Like, that looks pretty sick. You know, and like, this is probably... This could be the Lantern Court, but that guy does not look cursed enough to be one of these factions. I think this is probably more of a independent guide that you can hire who is curseless. So let's go ahead and for the Whisperborn, see if we can find an artist for this bad boy. Fingers crossed. This looks promising. So it looks like this is original artwork. So we're going to take this. I'm going to save image as, put in my downloads. It's a WEP file. That sucks. In that case, we will take a screenshot. And we will put that in downloads. Then we will go and take a look at our World Anvil images file manager. Go ahead and upload that picture. We'll give it title, what are these guys called? Whisperborn? Oh, I love the idea of like, it's carrying around this bell, and almost like their dedication to silence is so strong. Their reverence for the quiet is so strong that somebody like this guy has been trained to move in a way that the bell he's carrying does not ring. And if it does, who knows? That's why we play the game. And so what's that artist's name? Technical Stewart on Reddit. And we'll take this link and leave it as the artist website. Cool. And then we'll grab this. Head back over to Cruxland, do sections, sidebar, content, panel top. And we will... I love the idea of like a Whisperborn bell bearer. It's a bit of a tongue twister, and I might change that name later. Is there a name? I want to throw this to the chat since you're here, and you might know. No Googling allowed. I can Google. First of all, do you have a better idea for what kind of Whisperborn this is with the bell? But also, is there like a historical name for the person that rings the bell in like a steeple of a chapel? Something tells me it's going to be very basic and not very interesting of a name, but that is okay. Whisperborn Bellbearer. It sounds a little too silly. Like, I don't love that, but we can come back to it. Whisperborn Bellbearer. Let's go back and grab that Frostbrand Kin picture. I really, really love this a lot. see if we can find an artist. That kind of depends. I do not use AI art on this stuff. I'll use AI to like write and revise and brainstorm, but I don't love... Cool. We got a pretty decent link here. With an artist name and a link. Perfect. The Bell guy. The Whisperborn Bell guy. I'll leave that one up for what your future D&D character inevitably calls that guy. Oops, I made 2 of those by accident. That is not what we want. Delete that. Refresh. Alright, we'll call this Frost Brand Kin. I love that artwork so much. Vicar! Oh, Vicar's so sick! Good find, good find, good find. Whisperborn Vicar. That is fire. I knew you had it in you. I never doubted. Where is this artwork? Copy link address. Vicar of the Bell. I like Vicar of the Bell. I also just like Vicar, though. I think it kind of leaves it... I don't know. Vicar of the Bell giving me Over the Garden Wall vibes, and I don't mind that. It's kind of sick. Alright, let's throw this artist website in here. That is not the artist website, Google. You trying to insert yourself? Not cool. I grab that, and we're not going to spend any time on X on my live stream because it is a godless wasteland, and I have no idea what might pop up. And Wolf Dog Art is the name, all caps. Dog with a W, of course. Perfect. Let's take this. Cool. If you think just Vicar rips, then we will do a Whisperborn. I feel like that's harder to say, but it sounds sick as well. Whisperborn Vicar. Love it. Alright, we'll throw in... That is a big picture. Thankfully it will edit itself. A member of the Frost Brand Kin. You make them all special, then nobody's special, you know. How's this looking over here? Oh, it's looking absolutely fire. That is so sick. That's so sick. Okay. And we will X out of that. And I think I had an idea for the Lantern Court. Where was that? Right there. Again, we're hoping to find an artist. I can't... Oh, there's a much better picture. Shaman by Anna Karatanova. That's fire. Oh, wait. But this is ArtStation. I think this is the real one. Dude, that's so awesome. Oh wait, concept by Anna Karatanova. So it must just be a different username. Who knows how this worked out, but if this person's giving them credit as well, we are making this the Lantern Court for sure. However, oh, never mind. This guy only has 2 arms. He just has a lot of arms hanging from him. I was gonna say the Whisperborn looks like it has 4 arms, and I don't really want to repeat that. So let's take this. I'll come back for the artist name in a second. What's up, Aiden? Welcome. So take this, go over here, concept art by Anna K. I'm gonna stop making a fool of myself trying to pronounce that last name. Call this Lantern Court. Artist website, artist name first, and then we'll throw the artist website. It's not really the artist website, but I feel like Pietro Paraventi Vanelli has the idea of this thing and 3D modeled it, and so I'm gonna throw him a bone as well. Okay, we'll copy that. We will go catch you up to speed, Aiden, if you're here for a minute. We are building out a small little Arctic landmass, I guess. It's not really a nation, called Cruxland. And it's filled with... I'll read you the description in a second, because I don't even think Christian has heard the description. So let's throw, like just this being a guide, a Lantern Court guide. I don't even think it needs to be caps, but it does need to be centered. And let's see this final. That is sick. All right, let's read through this. And you guys let me know if there's anything else you think should be added for written content. We can brainstorm a little bit. Cruxland. Certain pockets of Oddmore were uniquely affected by the curse. Rather than killing inhabitants, it twisted and deformed them, gave sentience to otherwise mindless monsters, and repurposed the souls of mortals. No territory is as tormented as the Arctic region of Cruxland. For this reason, many of the unkillable fiends found throughout the world are exiled to this tundra. Cruxland is a mirror held up to Oddmore's denial. While Admarin built skytracks and automatons, while the Holy Farjanians chase godhood and Carthan crowns new claimkeepers, Cruxland remembers. I should link those countries. It is the curse given form, left to fester. To some, it is a warning. To others, a mystery. To the desperate, it's a last chance. Not a nation. Cruxland is not a nation. It has no borders, no government, no diplomats. It is a cold, sprawling wilderness, a tormented Arctic region whose name was assigned by distant cartographers and fearful scholars. The name Cruxland has no native origin. It simply marks a place where the dead do not stay dead and the living are rarely whole. The 3 factions. Whisperborn. A cult-like communion of soul-emptied mortals and monsters, bound together by eerie song. They believe... Ooh, so they're not totally silent. It's kind of a cool little hint there. They believe Cruxland is a sacred silence, the final truth of the world, and seek to hasten the unraveling of all sentient will. Chef's kiss. They revere silence and tolerate those who embrace it if they must. The Whisperborn can be found in the Still Spire, a towering obelisk of pale, sound-absorbing stone that hums with silence. It juts from a frozen valley lake like a buried needle, surrounded by shrouded figures who never speak. Voices fail within miles of it. To visiting adventurers, they offer safe passages. They should probably be changed to Whisperborn. To visiting adventurers, the Whisperborn offer safe passage across dead zones as long as you do not speak. To those beyond Cruxland, the Whisperborn provide assassinations, memory erasure, and cursed relics that we can resolve, used by spies, warlocks, and cults elsewhere in Oddmore. I think assassinations might be worth... Well, I'm of 2 minds here. On one mind, it would be terrifying to have one of these guys or something similar like emerge from Cruxland into the civilized world, and you don't hear them, and then one day it just murks you, just assassinates you. Like, I like that. I don't want to take away that, but I also like the idea of the Whisperborn cult being capable of astral assassination. You know, like, they can do it from the Still Spire with some kind of cursed arcane power. Anyway, we'll keep reading. I'll go back in and edit that in a second. Actually, let me make some of the edits I've already talked about, because I'll forget them later. So we'll link the Kingdom of Admarin. While Admarin builds Skytracks and automatons, while Holy Farjanians chase godhood. I gotta link these. And Carthan crowns new claim keepers, Cruxland members. Is the curse given form. Let's see if those updated appropriately. Yep, Cruxland is a mirror. Admarin, Skytrax, Holy Farjanians, Carthan. Perfect. Yeah, and I think we'll do for Whisperborn, provide assassinations either physically or astrally. I can imagine a world where you can get sort of both, where the astral assassination conjures a sort of ghastly form that hunts the target, maybe only visible to them, or otherwise just hard to notice. I love that. I like the idea of, oh, that's so good. That, like, they're almost astrally projecting. They're not physically leaving Cruxland, but terrifyingly. Because I think knowing they're not really there, but kind of there, but you can't do anything to them, is, like, even scarier. But you have to go into Cruxland to hire them. And then it's not even just hiring them. They don't care about gold. Why would they? It's about convincing them, about giving them something they need. That's so fire. Okay. Alright. And I'll make sure that updated. And I'm going to have to hop off in a minute, I think, but we'll see. Either physically or astrally. That's not how you spell astrally. Would you recommend a word other than physically? You know what? I like just taking it out, leaving that up to discover in game. Because as I've been saying, that's why we play the game. They provide assassinations that can be fleshed out in play. Love it. Okay, very cool, very cool. So I like it. You kind of get an idea of the aesthetic here. Whisperborn Vicar, member of the Frostbrand kin. Myself in Do Not Disturb for a second. What time is it? 8:06. We've been grinding this thing out. Okay. I like it. Now what I want to do is... Well, actually, I want to find a monster. I want to find a monster for Cruxland. something that... Oh, I mean, why wouldn't you do this one? I'll keep looking, but that is super tempting. I like that. Astral Assassination is crazy. So good. I feel like you could also still have one civilizationally integrated assassin too, but I feel like it'd be a specific character, not a general lore. Like, yeah, I like... Almost like... it probably would be a, like, Whisperborn convert. Like, somebody not totally... enslaved to Cruxland, somebody not totally bound to its geographical boundaries, but somebody operating within civilization on behalf of the Whisperborn is fire. Okay, so I think that dragon is going to be probably the one we go with. Whisperborn cult right here, sick. I don't even know if that's what that is, but it came up for me. You could even have a character who deflected from the cult and knows how to seek out, find, and protect their targets. This is why you world build on a live stream. That's so good. You could even have a character who deflected from the cult and knows how to seek out, find, and protect their targets. Oh my word. I almost like... There's like a book here about two beings, part of the Whisperborn cult, but living in civilization. One still their faithful assassin, the other defected from the cult and is protecting people with his or her, their very unique knowledge. That's so good. I gotta write that down in a secret. What is this? That's so sick. Dude, I want to play here so bad. Alright. Oh, but that's sick too. I feel like the dragon's a bit of a bump, you know? It's like, you're just going to throw that on the webpage that there are dragons there? I don't think that's what I want to do. I think I like a beast like this. I have another Pinterest board we can look at though, as well. Where is it? Creatures. There we go. Let's see. Like, this one's utterly terrifying. But it looks like it's from a Critical Role thing, so I'm just going to use that for inspiration rather than steal it. I actually remember this scene for some weird reason, because I don't watch a lot of Critical Role, but that house image is in my ITV pin board. That's the least surprising thing I've heard all night. Great minds think alike as well. This is sick. This is so sick. Like... LOTR redesign, dude. Is that supposed to be freaking King Theoden and Wormtongue? Because that is... Like, is this what the king is experiencing in his mind when he's under Wormtongue's curse? That's fire. Ooh, there's a cool behemoth here, but that's from a movie. A lot of these ones are inspiration. Oh, that's sick. I think that's AI, though. Maybe not. Does that show up as AI? Yeah, it doesn't look promising. Oh! There it is. I think that's going to be the one. Call it a Cruxland giant. I wonder if in this world giants have reintegrated into society or not. Who knows? That's something to figure out later. Alright, what is this artwork here? We got Ismail and Celebu. Always love an Arctic giant. And we're going to grab that link and throw it in here. And then we're going to go back to sections and paste that picture, and we'll call it an infamous Cruxland giant. Did I put? I don't put. What are exclamation points and periods called? Punctuation on these things. Alright, how's that looking? Oops. Ooh, I got a recommendation from Peter Moorbacher. We'll check him out. May as well. I'll have to throw him up here. This looks great. I'm going to do the map. I want to check out Aiden's recommendation here and call it Peter Moorbacher. Wow, this is pretty incredible. Yeah, like I'm getting Cruxland vibes from these four pictures that are a bit darker. Super cool. Yeah, like I almost get the feeling that these are like celestial beings that are now, not now extinct, but like should they ever reemerge, this is what they now look like. Maybe what they always looked like. Who knows? Not a conclusion we will find tonight. I love the cosmic nature of these, though. Thanks for the rec. Alright. Let's go to maps here. Well, first of all, I need to take a little screenshot of the... I need to zoom in and take a portion of the Oddmore Next map. There it is. Maps. Oddmore Next. You guys can't see this because I don't want you to. Post curse Oddmore. Make sure run drive is running. Of course, sir. So sorry. Maps, Oddmore Next, post curse Oddmore. There we go. Then we're gonna zoom way in. Nice. This will be a nice, easy one to take a screenshot of. It's not that I don't mind you seeing the post-curse Oddmore map in general. I just don't know what other spoilers are in the folders that lead there. Let's see. So that's now in my screenshots, and I think that might be all I need to make this map. It came out pretty clean without needing a whole lot of editing. So we're going to call it Cruxland, and we're going to create it. And, I mean, it's a map. Why are you making me create a... Oh, Shift-Enter to proceed. Pick your image. Let's go to pictures, screenshots. There we go. All right. And let's see. We got 3 major landmarks to set up here. We have the Still Spire for the Whisperborn. The Frostbrand Kin's Shatterhold is not in their name, is not in their description, and it should be. So we gotta find Still Spire, Shatterhold, the Kin's Fortress, known as Shatterhold, is sunk halfway into a glacier's edge. It towers over cracked. Yeah, cool. I'll show you the map. I'll show you the map before I go. Give you an incentive to stick around. Alright, so we got Glimmer Deep for the Lantern Court, Shatterhold for Frostbrand Kin, and the Still Spire. The Still Spire is on a lake in a valley. I think we're going to throw that one pretty far north. I kind of want, like, the Whisperborn to be as far north as you can possibly be while still having some kind of environment around you. So, do a nice little icon there. Call it the Still Spire. That's right. Audience retention time is all I'm here for. This is literally not interesting to me at all. I'm just here for those big Instagram bucks. Obviously kidding. Somebody new just joined as I started saying that, and that's going to be a bad look. So where are we? We want to take just this little snippet to describe it. I want artwork for these two. I don't think I have time to find that tonight, so that'll come later. Let's zoom in. That's all you're gonna let me zoom? Forget that. Maximum allowed zoom 5. Initialization, initial zoom level -2, I think is what I usually do. Come on. Uh-oh. Did that work? Nope. Okay. That worked. Whoa! Big zoom out. We'll see if that works well on the web page in a minute. So there's Still Spire. If the Carthani people are a majority of the Frostbrand Kin, they probably landed on the Big Island first. And I would say it probably didn't take them long to lose their will, their sentience, their soul, insert whatever you can think of here. So we'll do their fortress here as well, kind of in this valley. Which, I mean, it says it's a glacier, technically, so we can pretend these are glaciers. Dude, this website is not free. It's a pretty decent subscription fee. I think I pay like somewhere between $100 and $200 a year. It might not be that much, but I only regret it when I'm not world building. But I'm only not world building when I forget how much joy world building brings me. So, World Anvil is the name of it. It literally does anything you would ever want in terms of you storing your own information as a GM or as a writer or as a world builder, as well as letting you be able to share with your players or your readers or whatever it is. This is going to be Shatterhold, is that what we called it? Yeah, the Kin's Fortress, known as Shatterhold, is sunk halfway into a glacier's edge. We'll take that description while we're here. The Kin's Fortress, known as Shatterhold, is sunk halfway into a glacier's edge. Its towers cracked and rebuilt with bone, iron, and frost-forged weapons. The Brazier's Blue Flame. I'd like just bone and iron, to be honest. Bone and old world iron. Now we're talking. Nothing hits harder than old world. So we'll finish and create that as well. I'll refresh. These markers don't really land where they need to land. Come on. Come on. There we go. That is where I wanted it, though. That works well. And then we'll do the Lantern Court on this island. And the Lantern Court's place is called Glimmer Deep? Yeah. Look at that memory. And we'll just take that description here. Actually, I want to change Frostbrand Kin, Bone, and Old World. Bone and Old World Iron. Brazers of Blue Flame, Burn and Challenge. Top the walls, that's fine. Okay. And then half subterranean ruin beneath the ice. Their home, Glimmer Deep, is lit by suspended lanterns filled with soul fire. Okay. I think that works pretty good. Last thing to do is going to be... I like that. Like, every faction kind of owns a little mountain range there. It's kind of fun. And yet they're all not close enough together. People traversing really have to traverse to get to the Whisperborn. And I just love that. Okay. So let's go back to maps. And we'll take the Cruxland map. Copy its code. Go back to Cruxland. And throw it in there. Which should allow it to pop up on here. Very zoomed out. Okay, let's change that. Map settings, initialization, I lied. I'm sorry. We're going to keep that 0 like you originally wanted. And assuming that saves, this should look a little bit better upon a refresh. Nice. I'll take that. That works well. 0.5 or -1 is probably what we really want, but I'm not worried about it tonight. I will throw a little dividing line in there, and then I'll show you guys the full map. Although I think Aiden may have already snapped. I don't know for sure. cool. That looks good. Good work, everybody. I gotta find a different icon than a snowflake. So let's head over to the Oddmore Next homepage, and we'll open this in full size. So this is Oddmore Next. Essentially, when the curse finally lifts from Oddmore, it has fundamentally changed its geography in a big way. And it's not even really Oddmore anymore, it's just what the people still call it, Force of Habit. There's really no resemblance whatsoever. And so you have Cruxland up here, like we've been talking about. You have the Kingdom of Admarin, which are essentially those holding to a philosophy that, well, if the gods are dead, then our potential is no longer limited, and we will strive for greatness made by human hands, mortal hands. And it's pretty remarkable. They're definitely advanced in their technology, doing some pretty remarkable things. They essentially have built something called the Skytrack, which is a train system powered by this material called storm glass, which is very fundamental to this new world. And they're just building it. So right now they have something that takes them from their capital, which I don't know where that is yet, down to the entrance to the Solarian Dunes, which is a region they own, much like Shrine and Retreat, another region they owned. Over to the west, there's the Holy Farjanian Empire, which is an opposing... Well, it's a nation that opposes the philosophy of Admarin. Essentially, the gods are dead, but Oddmore has a long history of gods dying and reincarnating, if you will, or somebody else taking their place. And so while the Kingdom of Admarin believes not just the gods are dead, but godhood itself is dead, the Holy Farjanian Empire is actively trying to reestablish godhood. They don't really know how, so there's a lot of experimenting going on, a lot of exploring, a lot of research, a lot of religion, trying to bring it back. Neither nation actually has concrete evidence to support their theory, their philosophy. It's all pretty up in the air. The Holy Farjanian Empire owns this jungle down here that I have not built out at all. Then way over here in the east you have Carthan, which essentially people left the Kingdom of Admarin, settled Carthan, and their philosophy is the Carthan way, which is survival of the fittest, pretty much. The economy, the authority, the hierarchy, the government, everything in Carthan is driven by power. If you can usurp, you... got it, those dudes like Southern... Yes, essentially, South Ostad, from what Oddmore once was. Although Southern Ostad didn't do much. They were pretty stagnant because they thought everything was fine. Everything was not fine. And so the Holy Farjanian Empire is very driven, very zealous. And so anyway, back to Carthan. The Kingdom of Admarin is essentially expending a lot of effort to keep Carthan at bay. Shrine and Retreat exists because it really is Carthan's easiest entry point into the nation. And so Admarin went in and grabbed up this place that they named Shrine and Retreat. That is very militant. Then way over here you got the Free State of Zayan. I have very little to say about this except it is essentially experimental democracy in this new world. However, their proximity to the Holy Farjanian Empire makes that a little tricky because they are exposed more to Farjanian philosophy than they are to Admarin philosophy. So is that, like, the idea is, if this democracy is not influenced by anyone else, what happens? But that isn't really the case. And then down here you have Venderall, which I love. It's where I kind of started this process. Aiden's played in a place called Slightstone. It's very eclectic here, very kind of animated, cartoony, if you will. just a lot of people that aren't super concerned with the greater global politics and live happy lives here. There's still conflict, there's a lot to work through, but it's really like an adventurer's paradise. There's a lot of jobs to take on that keep you right on the continent. But there's also cool places to kind of explore. There's Harbor Home way up here that is essentially the continent's connection to the rest of the world, filled with like merchants and pirates and sailors and artisans. Artisans? Who knows? And then down here you have Cape Greengale, which is like a form of what we did tonight with Cruxland. A bit more structured, a bit less lost to the curse, but it's a big city that kind of fell during the curse. People somehow survived, yet very changed. So it's a very ominous, kind of creepy place, but still civilized. So that's kind of your basic intro to Oddmore Next. I will say, if you'd like to learn more, you can go to staycuriousme.com, my website. Click this little castle emoji here under my face. It'll take you to Tall Tale Lounge, which is where I'm sitting right now. And you can scroll down to Oddmore Next. Click Explore the World. And it will take you to the World Anvil page. A lot you can read there. I don't know that everything will be set in stone, so you can kind of see it as it grows. But there's links here you can follow. You can go and read more about the Kingdom of Oddmar, and if you like what's going on here, read more about Stormglass and the Skytrack and all that good stuff. Pretty cool. We'll also revisit it in later live streams. This was a great time tonight. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to wrap up, and we will dive back into Oddmore Next, or maybe some other world building sometime in the future. Peace out.